Our thought for today is, I think the proper name for senior women should be queen-agers. Today we honor one of the greatest queens of the Old Testament, Queen Esther. As we hear from the book of Esther in the first reading, she's a foreshadowing of our Blessed Mother, the great intercessor who goes to Jesus to intercede on our behalf. So who is Queen Esther? She was living in Persia, and one of the most beautiful women in Persia. She was of the Jewish faith. She was Mordecai's niece. The king fell in love with her and made her one of his queens. Well, there was also an evil man named Haman who wanted to exterminate all the Jews throughout the entire kingdom of Persia. So he was able to get the king's signet ring and send a message that on a certain day of a certain month that a scroll would be opened in each city, each town, and every single member of the Jewish faith would be killed. And of course, Mordecai overheard this and asked Queen Esther to intercede on behalf of her people to the king of Persia. And Esther, that's where we pick up the story. She is seized with mortal anguish because she knew that anyone who approached the king without being summoned would have automatic death penalty unless the king held out his royal scepter to allow her to speak. And so she was taking her life in her hands for her people. What does she do? She tells Mordecai to have all the Jews fast and pray for 3 days, that the king's heart would be touched, that the king's heart would be moved with pity when she approached him. And so she also, it says, prostrated herself on the ground together with her handmaids from morning until evening. So we have here the power of prayer, persevering in prayer, the sacrifices that she made, praying from morning until evening. She prayed this beautiful prayer. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, blessed are you. Help me, who am alone and have no help but you. I'm taking my life in my hand. As a child, I used to hear from my books and my forefathers that you, O Lord, always free those who are pleasing to you. Now help me, who am alone and have no one but you, O Lord my God. What a powerful prayer. And so, after this prayer and 3 days of fasting and praying by the Jewish people, she approaches the king and he holds out his royal scepter. Says, what do you want? I'll give you even half my kingdom. It's the same words that King Herod would quote to the daughter of Salome. And so then she says, I'll prepare a banquet for you. And so he came to the banquet, and again he said, what do you want me to do for you? And again, come to a banquet tomorrow. So she prepared another banquet. And then it was at that banquet where she revealed that she wanted the king to save her people. He did not know that she was of the Jewish faith. And so he saved her and all of the Jewish people because of the intercession and powerful prayer of Queen Esther. And then it was discovered by the king, the evil plot of Haman, and Haman was then executed and the people were saved. So this is the powerful intercession of Queen Esther. And so she is the role model of persevering prayer. And notice that she never gave up praying, but she didn't just pray, she also acted. So prayer, of course, must be primary, must be first, but then she had to approach the king. She put the banquets on, and she was able to show by faith and works, by faith and action, that she wanted her people to be saved. And then lastly, Jesus echoes this by saying in the gospel, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened. Those words in the original Greek language indicate ongoing. Continue to ask, continue to knock, and continue to seek. So it's not just one time, but we have to persevere in prayer, like St. Monica, who prayed for 30 years for Augustine's conversion. So the message of the gospel is the power of prayer and intercessory prayer, and never stop praying. Continue to ask, continue to seek, and continue to knock. Persevering prayer.